Hey, I'm Danny Rosenthal. Thank you so much for joining us. I am the Director of Community and Partnerships at Enginehire, and it is my pleasure to host this webinar on using rewards from points to profit. So let's just jump right in. Okay, the goal of points reward system is to incentivize clients and candidates to stay engaged, spend more money or time, and refer others and build a bond to create a loyal customer base. I think as the Director of Community and Partnerships at Enginehire, building a bond is one of the most critical things that any business can do. For me, it is at the end of the day when someone has a problem, they feel comfortable reaching out to you because they trust you will fix it. And I think that that is what the strongest bond can do. And thus, a reward system can definitely enhance that. Okay, so our agenda is gamification versus rewards and why both rock. They're awesome. How to put it in your system like today with what Enginehire already has in the box. I'm going to introduce our rewards management system for clients and candidates. That's right. There's two. And then we'll brainstorm. And after that, we will do a raffle to select a few winners to kickstart your own rewards program with us sending you some gifts. Okay, so let's do this. Rewards, they're all over the place. Cafes, restaurants. So that's like Starbucks, McDonald's, Burger King. They all have their own. I mean, Panera. They all have their own rewards program to incentivize you to come back. And I'll tell you, the Starbucks app is on my phone, and while I don't go there often, they try really hard to get me there, and I really do like the reward system. Credit card companies do this. Airlines, hotels, courses, clothing stores. It's nearly everywhere. So as we go through this, I want you to think about your favorite reward programs. And as you go through life after this, I want you to think about what is in a rewards program that really helps you. Because at the end, when we brainstorm what should go inside the Enginehire system, we want all of your fabulous ideas of what you think would incentivize your clients and candidates to work more with you, bring them back. All right. So rewards and gamification and why they both rock is gamification encourages active participation and actively increases motivation. It's a short-term thing with long-term benefits. A rewards program offer prizes or incentives to increase engagement. That is a long-term strategy to always keep people coming back. The gamification is something that they can do in the immediate, like fill out a form, book a consultation or a call. A rewards program is like, hey, because you did all of those other things, you can win X, Y, and Z. So some gamification things would be points and encouraging messages along the way, nudging reminders. Or for a rewards program, that would be like discounts and gifts and prizes and exclusives and being at certain tiers and all those sorts of things. That's what makes a rewards program and a gamification like marriage perfect, because you need both. Having one or the other is great, but you can do both, and we can do both today inside Enginehire. So here's a couple of steps to get your mind going. Is 97% of people that are in a course are more likely to finish it if there is a rewards program gamification involved in them doing it. So that would be like a leaderboard or badges or just congratulations messages or reminders to keep going in the process. There's a lot of language courses out there, and you'll find that when you pass a section of it, you get a certain amount of points or coins or things like that, and a badge of whatever to show that you've achieved something. And it doesn't have to be big things. Again, this is a badge or an encouraging message, but it goes a long way in getting people to continue doing things. 96% of employees are more likely to stay at a company for 3+ years when tasks are gamified. So as long as there's more things to encourage them along, they're going to stay longer. That's 97% of employees. They're going to stay for 3+ years just because they've got some incentives going on. It's very impressive. And then 84% of consumers say they are more likely to stick with a brand that offers, excuse me, that offers a loyalty program. Thus, I go back to my Starbucks app. I am more likely to go to Starbucks than I am to go to Dunkin' Donuts because I have the Starbucks app on my phone, and it is true. And then there's other things like Dunkin' Donuts will send me an email that is also gamification that says, hey, go to our store. We have a deal today. So, gamification rewards, they're perfectly married together. So while we talk about all of this, it is amazingly important for me to remind you and let you know, if you haven't already thought of it, that a rewards program is a differentiator. It's between you. It's the difference between you and your competition. Is what is it that you offer them? This is why all those reward programs exist, and they have different prizes or levels or things that they can do, and it's all up to them. But when you have a rewards program and gamification involved in your platform for your business, it is different than all of your other competition. Do they have rewards programs? And even if they did, which they probably don't, even if they did, they're not giving the same incentives that you are. They're not building that same type of bond with their customers, their clients and candidates as you are with yours. So once you start doing this, no matter how you're doing it, you should definitely add it into your website. Tell people about it. Send an email to say, hey, we're now doing this. Put it up there. Starbucks, Panera, all of those places, they're not shy about it. When you think of a credit card company, you think about their rewards program probably is like number one. They're not telling you, hey, spend your money using our system to spend money. They're saying, hey, when you do spend money, you get X, Y, and Z, and that's awesome. And you should do that with us because we're there to give you something awesome, right? So that's what I want you to think about, is that it can be your differentiator too. All right, the success of one of these programs. Let me take a drink. That's helpful. The success of these programs is it has to be easily accessible, it has to be tailored to what people want, and then it has to be simple to redeem and act on. So easily accessible, how they start, how they sign up for that. Are the accomplishments, the challenges, the obstacles to getting points and rewards, how challenging is it? Is it something that they can do? Starbucks, and I'm sorry for bringing up them a lot, but you buy a cup of coffee and you get points for that. Excuse me. So the barrier to entry on the Starbucks point system rewards program is incredibly low. The tailored to the individual is, what is it that people really want? What is it that you need to incentivize people to do? And then what is it that they should get by doing those things? So would that be signing up for a certain amount of jobs in a week, in a month, when they clock in or clock out, or all sorts of things? How much of their profile have they completed? What is it that is something that's important to you to get them to do, something that's important that they actually accomplish, and then what do they get to do that? So that brings us to simple to redeem. Clicking a button couldn't be any easier. So if you have a way to get notified when somebody says, yeah, I want to redeem my points, it's the easiest way to do it. Think about, once again, the Starbucks app. You put it up, they scan it. That's a really low and easy way to execute that. So as you go about this, think about ways that you can execute these things yourself. Okay, here's what you've been waiting for. The ideas that you could do today. Have this cough. It's like right in my throat. Ideas you can do today. So application encouragement. You will have forms, all right? Getting someone to sign up, that's a big step. You can put gamification involved, that 97%, when people that complete a course that they get. Sorry, that was said so weird. application encouragement, right? So when people do a course, they're 97% more likely to finish it if there's some gamification involved. I think that that translates directly to your application forms. Submission nudges. That's low-key reminders or congratulations for doing this. They apply. Now they get an email that says, hey, high five. You applied with us. That's awesome. Doesn't have to be more complex than that. That's that part where it's building the bond, right? It doesn't have to be a gift. The gamification is to build those bonds, to keep people going, right? So an email reminder might be like, hey, you applied with us a day ago. I want to just say that that's awesome and that you should keep going. If you fill out your profile, that helps us X, Y, and Z ways, and we can help you faster, right? Do it as a text, do it as an email, do it as a push notification on the app when possible. Badges, that is already in your system of something you can, again, also just start doing today if you're not doing it already. They're very easy to put in. When people accomplish something, it could be questions that they fill out in their profile or on an application. It can instantly give them a badge, which is a great way to have them stand out. It's a great way to have them stand out compared to their competitors or like other candidates, right? They want those badges so they can be shown off to your clients. And then just you can start, highlighting candidates with a candidate of the month. Send out an email to all of your users saying, hey, this person does an exceptional job. That's a great pat on the back for them, but it also is a great way to incentivize people to come to you because you have that great candidate. If you do this as a candidate of the month, you have people constantly coming back to you. So let's do some system walkthrough. So let me share my next screen. And here we go. Right at the top of this is really easy to put in. It can be anything. I decided it'd be awesome to have a graphic. I love a graphic. People love them. It's really easy. You're like, oh, 20%, right? It's 20% of what? And then I have some language below it that says, hey, our clients find matches 20% faster when they schedule a call after completing their application. So it's, again, that's that gamification to incentivize people to keep moving along right away. And to do this, you don't have to rebuild all of your applications. I will show you after this how you can just add this type of language in, whatever that language may be, how you can utilize this area of your application to gamify, to get people to keep going. Then I'll show you this too. There's a progress bar. And you can divide up your application into certain pages, right? So if instead of seeing one long application, you can divide it up into 3 pages, 4 pages, as many pages as you'd like, right? I would suggest trying to top it out at 3, so people can see, oh yeah, I've completed that part. Okay, now step 2, I've completed that. It just gives them something to attain. It's a really low barrier, right? They see they have 3 things to complete. They've completed 1, now they're on to the next one. Amazing, right? And then here's what I've built in here as another way to incentivize people where it builds a bond with them. So if they click on a service in this scenario, it goes, wonderful. We've helped over 250 families find their amazing nanny. And then I have a testimonial below it. You don't have to do anything like this. But I just want to show you that you can have this type of thing going on in your applications. Make it really easy, right? And then they'd hit, next, and they'd go on to step 2. So let me show you how I built that. All right, I'm in more. I'm in application and profile builder. Here is the application I'm created for this today. So let me just show you so you can see it in admin view. Okay, nothing special going on over here, right? So to edit this, well, this one's already in here, but here's what I want you to do. You go like this, okay? And you'll set this up with putting in sections. So you will build different sections. You can do this in several different ways. The point is you're putting it in here. So the way that I did this is I made a a section that's just this one question. It's services. And I did that to make it easy for us, but it doesn't have to be that way. Your section could be much bigger. And your section could include this next section, which I built. It's a separate section, but again, it doesn't have to be. So what I did here to get that extra part going down is, let me open this up. So I made an HTML section. So when you're adding in, a field, it's going to ask you like what type, and you're just going to go HTML. Okay, so that's what I did here. And then I just added some text, and then I added in an image by clicking insert image, and I popped this in there. And that's all. So then after that, I now added this select other properties. I hid the title just so it doesn't say testimonial. You need to have a title for these. So select other properties. You might want to hit section title. Here's the main important one. Show condition. Okay. Show if services, all right, the section above this, is nanny. Then it's going to show, it's going to have that pop-up happen. If they don't click nanny, it won't pop up. You can have this for all sorts of ones. You can have different testimonials. You could have different testimonial for each service. You could have, if they click any of them, it doesn't matter. This thing will pop up next that says, hey, we've helped this many families in this last month. We've helped this many businesses in this last month. Whatever it is, excuse me, still getting over that cough. It's probably not going to happen by the end of this webinar. So that's how you can build that into your system. So this top part is actually super easy. This takes even less doing. You open up your application and you go into the edit section, and you will go and click on instructions and messaging. And there you go, profile instructions. So this is just, it's going to appear at the very top of an application one time. That's where it goes. It just says, hey, you do the same thing. I put in some text. I inserted an image. Easy peasy, save. You could do the same sort of thing with a confirmation message. You could be like, oh my gosh, congratulations. Just like you, we've served this many other people. You can do whatever you want there. If you want, you could do like when you reject someone, sad face. Probably don't do that. And then just want to show you this last part where you can make your application into a multi-step application form. It's right under general, is multi-step application. Usually it's no, but you can turn it on to yes. And when you turn it on to yes, we'll save that. We'll go back. This next thing appears, this step index, and you can choose at what step you want these to show. So I'm having this show on number 1. I'm having this also show on number 1. You can have as many things show up on number 1 as you want. You can have as many things show up on number 2 as you want. However you want to build up your application, you can do that. So that header part and the steps doesn't require anything to change on your application. You're just clicking, you're adding in a message at the top, and you're clicking to do the step builder, and you just add in the steps, and the step process is there. So easy peasy. Another thing that's great is I'm going to show you here, is emails for when people go through the process. So, I'm in clients and I click on view process flow. The view process flow cuts a few steps out of the process to get to basically the same area. So each of these are the statuses you have. Yours are going to be different because you're going to have different statuses than me. And then each of these boxes shows what you can automate at this step. So when someone is here, that gets triggered and it starts here. So when someone applies, I have it so that this email pops up. It's actually going to be this first email, and then I wrote it, this is the reminder. Let me show you both in action. So someone hits apply, or someone hits submit on their application and they come into apply. That's the way I have my application set up. They might go into a different status for you. So they hit submit. They're now in my applied status. And then this is the email they get. It's triggered by a status change notification, right? They weren't at applied. They're at applied now. And I wrote this message. Success. Your agency application is on its way. That's just a good, way to build a small bond. Oh yeah, high five, right? And then this is the email that I wrote. Hi, Nam. Thank you so much for reaching out to us. While we review your application, enjoy our happy cat dancing. Now, the happy cat dancing might not be something that applies to you. But what I'm trying to show you is that you can add in things to make to build that bond, to encourage people to keep going. I might say, when you're done watching this, go fill out your profile. Click here to log in. And then, you add the link. And then you'll be like, there is no time like the present. Yeah, emphasize that. Way to go. Yeah, and so you can do that, right? Okay, great. So that's what happens then. Now I have the reminder. So if they fill out their profile, it's going to push them into another status, is the way that I have my system set up. You most likely do as well. But if they don't follow that email's instructions to go, hey, go to the next step, keep going, to push them into the next status, I created this email, which is a status reminder. So it means that they're in this status for 24 hours, they will get this email. And you can make this 48 hours. You can change it to be whatever you want. But I feel like urgency is among us. So I'm doing 24. Often, if you think about other sorts of gamification, if you're buying something online, and then you go and you leave, that stuff in your cart, like 1 hour later, you're going to get a message that says, hey, you forgot some things in your cart, right? That's gamification, and that really works. And maybe you want an hour to go by before this, email gets sent. Maybe you want it to be longer. Maybe you want it to be much longer. Like, hey, 73 days later, and it could be we haven't heard from you. What happened? Email. Here's the subject I made in this one. Congratulations, we have your application. Continue with your profile. Excuse me. Hey, Nam, thanks so much for reaching out. We have your application, but don't stop now. Continue to complete your profile. A complete profile can save you 48 hours in the matchmaking process. Reach out if you have any questions. Now, I put that in there because I'm trying to create some urgency and some benefit to them for doing that. And I made up 48 hours, right? Because this is a made-up agency that I have. But for you, you'd probably know. And I put in 48 hours because I thought, all right, if they don't fill out their profile and you have to call them, like how much time is wasted often before they get the profile filled out? Maybe if your clients and candidates are extremely slow, you might be like, you can save 1 week if you just do this today, right? So it can be that easy. All right, there we go with that. And now I want to show you badges. So in my candidates, I have in Royal Von candidate, I have the profile. And this person's profile, we have a badge section, but you'll see Royal Von candidate doesn't have any badges yet. And you can set this up to be in an application or in the profile. But here's what I think is cool, is you can have questions trigger these badges. So in this situation, I put some questions here that go, should you get a badge? Now, for you, this is probably something more like, how many years of experience do you have? And it'd be 5 years, 10 years. Do you have a CPR certification? Are you first aid certified? Things like that. You can ask whatever questions, and then we can have their answers trigger some badges for them. So now we have those answers And in here, they now have an out of this world badge because they answered, I'm totally a planet. We have my favorite color is purple, and I so should get a high five. And that's why they get these weird badges that I made up because I thought it was fun of high five machine. And purple is my favorite color. These could be whatever. You know, you could ask, what's a person's favorite color? I don't know. But the point is that you can have things automatically trigger these other things. And now your profile, your applications, they're totally gamified. So let me show you how to do this. I'm going to go back a little bit. And I'm going to open up this profile so I can find this part. Okay, I'm in my candidate profile. And it's actually done by a section. You saw that it said rate. So that is the section that I'm going to open. Ah, there it is. Okay, I'm going to edit this section because this is where those things are triggered. You can see, should I get a badge section? Question is this simple, right? This is probably, again, going to be more like, how many years of experience do you have? Because that would be a good badge. 5 years experience, 10 years experience. Those are amazing badges. Would really make a candidate stand out. So you'll go to edit, then you'll go to conditional settings. And then you have all of these options for conditions, and these are all the same premise. Question gets asked that can trigger a location or a status will change. You know, you can just have these things control other stuff. The one that we're scrolling down to is badge conditions. So the selected badge is favorite color is purple. And then they get it if they answer, should you get a badge, contains any of my favorite color is purple. Easy peasy. So now when they click that, they're going to get that badge. It's really that simple. It's in the section that you ask the questions that will then trigger the badges. And so let me scoot back and show you where you put those badges. In global settings, here we go. In candidates, there is a badge manager, candidate badge settings. And here's where you'll add them. So you'll click this, and you'll just add in a badge, you know, CPR. First aid. Actually, it's first aid. Whatever you want these badges to be, like, you know, high five machine, you can just put them in there. You'll drag in the image you want, you'll title it, and then you'll hit submit, and it goes in there. What I did here, and this is just my test platform, I clicked allow candidates to assign badges. So that means that they could just pick badges themselves and say, yeah, I'm totally that. What you can do on top of that, if you have that in there, you can then request to be notified. And if you're like, Danny, at Enginehire, then I'll be like, oh yes, Royal Von candidate says that they have 10 years experience. Should I give them that badge? And I look back, I'm like, oh yeah, they do have 10 years experience, and I give them that badge. Easy peasy. So those are several ways that you can just implement gamification to get people to move through your system. I just want to reiterate this one time, that in the view, the process flow, everything should have a reminder email next to it. Maybe it doesn't need the success you're in this status, but it should be nudging people along. That's what all of your statuses are doing, is they're putting people in a category and you want people to move through them. So everyone should have a reminder, right? So trigger an amount of time, yeah. Trigger, yeah, when they're in a status for a certain amount of time, yes. Okay, so I'm going to do the status reminder. You're an interview complete. You're in this for 24 hours. You know, keep going with our next steps. Go, 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 go. Okay, and I'm just writing that for this so you can see the bottom part, where you can then have, after they get this email, it can update them, right? So maybe if they get this email, and you have this, you know, send, you know, a month after they've signed up. And if they're still in the status after a month, you can then have it move to where they're now inactive. You can select it for certain different types, different locations. All of these things can be set. And then you can have this repeat, you know, repeat twice, stop sending after, yeah, after 2 times. And then we'll have it be inactive because they haven't done that. But you can do other things with this. And then if you really want to keep narrowing down your search, the add conditions field is really helpful for that, for tags. You'll be like, tags, I want to enter some tags and be like, oh yes, this goes to people that are that, whatever it might be. None of this makes sense for this email, but I want you to know that you can keep filtering down when you're trying to look for an email trigger that doesn't totally exist, or get it to go someone very specific because this triggers several things, but you want it to go to these people, you know. So then this email will go if people have CPR or first aid. No matter what is in these, as long as somebody has one of them, it will be, this is the email that will get used. So I want you to know that. All right, now here's the big moment. We're gonna go to our reward manager. So global settings. And in candidates, and clients has one too. It's a little different because all of these things are triggered within Enginehire. So candidate rewards manager. So here's all of the options. I'm going to just close these up so you can see them better. But if a candidate accepts more than X shift jobs in a month, they receive Y points. So yeah, if they do more than 5 shift jobs in a month, they will get 100 points. If a candidate clocks out of a shift job, they receive 5 points, because we're trying, in this one, you can tell you're trying to get your people to remember to clock out. So similar to this, I just want to put that out there too, is these points, they don't mean anything until you make them mean something. So 100 points could easily also be 1,000 points or 10,000 points or 100,000 points or 1,000,000 points. It doesn't matter. This doesn't equal anything. It all is up to you. Because of that, though, I'm going to keep it at 100. We have, if a candidate receives a 5-star review, they receive X points. If someone applies using candidate referral links, they receive X points. If a candidate clocks into a shift job within X minutes after the start time, they receive X points. I'm going to do, yeah, if they do it in 5 minutes, maybe it'll go really hardcore. I'll be like, if you do it in 1 minute, I'm going to give you 10 points. I think that's, you know what? I actually feel like they should get 25 points. I know, but here we go. On the other side of it, if a candidate clocks into a shift job more than X minutes after the start time, Y points are deducted. So if they do it after 6 minutes, I'm going to deduct 20 points. That's just how I feel. Okay, so you set all of these up. These are all triggers because they're all automations. Something in the system is triggering that thing. So you don't have to think about it. That's why this is awesome. And if you have ideas, I strongly encourage you to throw them into the community or reach out to us in some other way. Community is the best place to get feature ideas because people can vote them up, add on to it. We can get people brainstorming together and make some really incredible stuff. Where if you just send it to support, it's one idea, there's no one to back you up that it's the best idea ever. So definitely use the community to share your ideas. What would make this, you know, this system beneficial for you? Like, what are the things that you are trying to incentivize your candidates to do? Same thing for with clients, all right? That's on a different side, but it's the same thing. And then below all of this is where you make the rewards, and you make these all up. You know, I made up Amazon and Lululemon and Starbucks, or sorry, Dunkin' Donuts. See, I talk so much about Starbucks, and then this is the one I put in here. Crazy. So then this one I would go Starbucks. Meet people where they are, right? With what they want. Duh. It's Starbucks. Add an image of Starbucks. It's going to take 100 points to redeem this. Yeah. And then you add in the email that gets notified. Be like, hey, at agency. submit. And I'm gonna have the image in there, so I can't submit it. There you go. And then this is how they see it in their profiles. Okay, I'm gonna go into one of the profiles. You can see the reward section. Go back to it. Reward section. You have 250 points. So I have a $25 Amazon gift card, a $25 Lululemon gift card, etc. And then shows them their points, and then all they have to do is click redeem. You want to redeem these points? Yes, I do. It says thank you so much for your hard work. And then you will get an email, or whoever that email that you listed in there will get an email, and then you will divvy out the reward. So unfortunately, there's no way to necessarily trigger something happening, what the reward is. The reward has to be something that you are now taking responsibility, that does add time into your process, but it can be well worth it on the other side. But that, again, that doesn't mean you have to be giving gift cards away. You could be giving high fives away. You could be giving a day off. You could be doing things that maybe it doesn't take you so much time to do. And then they also do have this thing of how to get points. So they'll see this. If they're like, what is this? I don't have any points yet. How do I get this? And all those things that you selected and wrote up there, this is what, they will see when we were in the manager. And then there's one other thing, because let's say that there's something that you want to trigger a reward, but it's not in the system yet, right? But there's things that you notice and you can see and people do. And so you can do this then yourself. All you have to do is go into that candidates admin tab. You're going to go down to rewards and points. And then you can add points. This is how many points they have now. You're going to add points. I'm going to be like 100 points because they came to the webinar. Submit. Okay, and now you have this history of points, and you see, I got this many points. I, gave Royal Von candidate 100 points because they came to the webinar. When they hit redeem, it removes points. So this should probably have a little negative right there, but it removes points. And again, because you control, where the system doesn't automatically trigger things, you have control. So let's say you didn't come to the webinar. Well, now I'm taking 100 points away. Didn't attend webinar. Sad face. All right, and I take these points away, and now they only have 50 points. Okay, so it's that easy to do. You can just implement that into your system now. So now's when I'd like to brainstorm. So I'm going to turn off the recording and let's get to it, and have a great rest of your day. All right, bye.